We are counting down 6 chilling Auschwitz blocks that reveal the camp's darkest secrets and the courage that refused to die. Number 6. Block 7. The crushed barracks of everyday terror. This building was jammed with up to 1,000 people in a space meant for a fraction of that. Triple-tier bunks. No air, no sanitation. Primo Levi remembered bodies packed like herrings in a barrel. Polish prisoners like Josef described sleeping in shifts because there was no space to lie down. Here we also find sparks of defiance. Marla Zimmertbaum, a Belgian Jewish prisoner known for courage and kindness, shared her bread and later attempted a daring escape with her partner. Children like Tova Friedman remembered the darkness, the crying, the fear. Sergio de Simone, only 4 years old, was taken for experiments and murdered. Why it matters? Block 7 shows the baseline cruelty of daily life in Auschwitz. Before the gas chambers, before the firing squads, survival itself was a war. Number 5. Block 21. The Infirmary of Despair. Called a hospital, it was a place where the sick were dumped and left to die. Lice-infested straw, rotting air, the living beside the dead. Eddie de Wind, a Dutch doctor and prisoner, wrote of non-stop cries and a vision of hell on earth. Yet, even here, heroes rose. Gisela Perl, a Hungarian Jewish gynecologist, risked everything to care for women in secret. She smuggled medicine, performed hidden surgeries, and in one desperate act hid a newborn beneath corpses to save a life. Polish artist Marian Kolodziej later drew what he saw, turning unbearable memory into witness. Why it matters. Block 21 exposes how medicine was twisted into neglect and cruelty, and how compassion still flickered when everything else went dark. Number 4. Block 24. The Camp Brothel. Ordered by Heinrich Himmler in 1943 as a perverse reward system, this place enslaved women for the use of SS and selected male prisoners. Tickets were exchanged for 20 minutes of exploitation. Irma Grace, the hyena of Auschwitz, tormented women chosen for this block, wielding humiliation as a weapon. Yet, the women resisted in small and brave ways, passing information, protecting one another. Alla Gertner, later executed for aiding the Sonderkommando uprising, stands as a symbol of fierce defiance. Why it matters? Block 24 reveals gendered violence as policy and how even in the most degrading conditions, dignity and resistance survived. Number 3. Block 11. The Death Block and Execution Yard. Its basement held starvation cells and standing cells where prisoners suffocated in darkness. Cell 22 became infamous after dozens of Soviet prisoners were locked inside to die of thirst and hunger. Outside, the death wall witnessed thousands of executions. Father Maximilian Kolbe gave his life to save another, proving that even in Auschwitz, love could be louder than hate. This courtyard also saw the aftermath of revolt. The SS executed hundreds after the Sonderkommando blew up Crematorium 4 with smuggled explosives. Zalman Gradowski buried his notes in the ashes so the truth would survive. Why it matters. Block 11 shows how terror was engineered and how resistance burned even when the price was everything. Number 2. Block 10. The Laboratory of Human Agony. Dr. Karl Clauberg boasted of a non-surgical method to sterilize women at scale, injecting corrosive chemicals that caused infections, mutilation, and death. Dr. Horst Schumann blasted reproductive organs with X-rays. Sigmund Rascher froze men, then tried to revive them with scalding water. High-altitude tests crushed lungs in decompression chambers. And Josef Mengele, obsessed with twins, performed experiments that defy belief. Dye in eyes, bodies sewn together, chloroform to the heart. Survivors like Stanislawa Leszczynska heard the screams day and night. Vera Alexander remembered the fever and the unbearable pain after injections. Why it matters. Block 10 proves how pseudoscience can become a weapon when stripped of ethics and humanity. Number 1. Block 4. The Museum of Memory and Proof. Today, this block holds the evidence the Nazis could not erase. Mountains of shoes, from tiny infant booties to worn work boots. Thousands of eyeglasses, twisted and silent. Suitcases with names and dates, a roll call of stolen lives. You see Peter Isler. You see Vera Voroskova. You see the list of 999 young women sent to forced labor, signed by Josef Mengele. There are prosthetic limbs, like the wooden leg of a Polish prisoner who survived and became an artist. Every object shouts a simple truth. These were people. They had stories, talents, and families. Why it matters. Block 4 is the answer to denial and forgetting. It turns numbers back into names, and it asks every visitor to carry the memory forward. Here is the big takeaway. 6 blocks, 6 lenses on horror and courage. From the crushed bunks of Block 7 to the death yard of Block 11 to the medical hell of Block 10, we end at Block 4 because memory is the strongest resistance. Remember the people. Remember the choices. And remember that never again is a promise we have to keep, one name at a time.